Hello and welcome to Jedi Dropouts. I'm Ryan Taylor.
And I'm James Moss.
James, do you know where we're going today?
Where?
Well, first, we're gonna ride into the Stranger Zone. And then we're gonna Ragnarok you like a hurricane. Sorry, I had some stupid fucking puns and I wanted to say them. We might also turn it up to 11. We might go sell seashells by the sea, Thor.
Dial it up to 11.
Well, wherever we go, we'll be...
Yeah.
Mjolnir far, wherever you are. And I'm done. That's all I got.
Jesus, that was a stretch.
If you didn't catch from the stupid fucking puns, we're finally doing a Stranger Things review. We're finally doing it, well, not finally, it just came out. We're doing a Thor Ragnarok review, and we're gonna review whatever the fuck else you saw recently, James.
Yeah.
First, let's touch on...
Basket of whatever the fuck.
First, let's touch on a couple things. You may have also noticed, we have new music. We have a new...
Dun, dun, dun.
And at the end of this, you'll hear the other new music that I created myself. You might notice the artwork is different. We got a new look. We got a new sound.
Yeah.
Well, we've missed a few weeks, so we want to try and fit as much into this one as possible. So, a fuck ton of reviews. We're gonna talk about all the latest geek news that we missed over the last month while we were talking about horror movies. And, I think we should jump right into it, because we got a fucking ton to talk about.
Sounds good to me.
Oh yeah, we should probably mention why exactly we've missed a bit lately. So you took a little trip down to St. John's.
Yes, I was there for 11 days, I think.
Yeah, something like that, I guess. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there, but...
Well, I mean, how can I trust you to write my biography if you don't even know how long I'm gone out of town for?
I'm sorry, man. Every time I set up the security cams in your house, you take them down. What else am I supposed to do?
Well, I mean, if anyone is going to put videos of me naked on the internet, it's going to be me.
Just like Justin Timberlake said it, yep. No,
I'm like Stia. I'm taking the control back.
Yes. Topical. Nice. So, you took a little trip to St. John's. You saw some movies. I stayed home. I watched Stranger Things Season 2 for a second time. And then, as soon as you got back, I got a head cold. And as my boss described it when I called in sick, I sounded like a bag of shit.
Which is a very professional description.
Oh yeah, I know. But so yeah, we've been a while getting around to the actual recording. Stranger Things Season 2's been out for like 2 weeks. Thor came out last week. So this should come out on Monday. What is the date of Monday? The 13th. And we're going to touch on a little bit of everything. A little bit of all the stuff we missed out on. So, I've been dying to get around to this. You want to talk about Stranger Things?
I do. I feel you're going to have far more to say than me because, well, while I love the show, you enjoy it more and you've seen the making of stuff, and you watch the season for a second time.
Oh boy. Honestly, I watch so much extra shit, I might just do a noob reviews on the extra shit.
Yeah?
I think I might. I mean, I watched the behind-the-scenes series they did for Netflix. I played the Stranger Things mobile game. I listened to the Spotify tie-ins playlist they did. I listened to podcasts that they were featured on. I went a little nuts with it. But I feel like once I get talking about Stranger Things, I'm not going to be able to shut up. So maybe you could just give me your thoughts first.
Okay.
And of course, spoiler warnings, because we're not going to be able to talk about this without touching on some spoilers here.
Oh, there's going to be spoilers throughout this whole episode for the movies I've seen and this show.
Yeah, 100%.
First thing I want to say, that fucking school dance scene at the end.
Oh my god.
My heart, sweet Jesus.
I'm going to mention a detail of that dance. I don't know if you noticed it or not. Obviously, everyone is sad about Dustin. And for those who haven't seen it, there's a scene at the end of the school dance where Dustin gets rejected by multiple girls and he cries in a corner and it fucking breaks your heart. But there is a subtle thing I noticed the second time around that will fucking kill you. Okay, so
which is what?
So Hopper, in the first season, Chief Jim Hopper, you see the whole backstory about his daughter that passed away.
Yep.
And if you pay attention in the first season, the hair buckle his daughter wore, the little blue hair buckle, he wears that on his wrist in every scene in the first season.
I did not know that.
So that's sad enough for the first season. Second season, he's still wearing it. He does not take it off his wrist. In the very last episode, again, spoilers here, in the scene where he is finally given the official adoption papers for 11, he is seen wearing it. At the school dance, 11 is wearing it.
That is adorable.
That's and it is so fucking sad. God damn it, this show, man. Anyway, continue. The school dance.
Yeah, like
it was a great scene.
It was an amazing scene. I loved it. Stuff with Dustin getting rejected, but then, you know, it's like they all grow up and realize that, you know, it was just,
yeah.
A lot of the stuff with Dustin, like, okay, there was points in this series, or in this season, that Dustin really got on my nerves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like how stubborn he was being with Dart, and like hiding him from his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, man, like, why are you lying? Like, this is gonna totally bite you in the ass, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, the relationship between Dustin and Steve.
Yes.
Like, I loved that.
Yep.
That's a character who I was kind of about in the first season.
Yep.
But this season, I was like, fuck yes, I'm really starting to like this guy.
I started to like Steve at the end of the first season. My first time around watching the show, I said, fuck Steve. The second time I watched the show, I was like, okay. Third time around, same thing. When I rewatched it for the fourth time, the week season 2 came out, I paid a little more attention at the very ending when Steve, like, makes a complete 180 and kind of owns up to all the shit he did. And so before season 2 came out, I made a checklist of things I want. And at the very top of that list is continue with Steve's character growth and make him the fan favorite I think he's going to be. And that got a fucking huge check mark, because holy shit, Steve Harrington owns this season.
Yeah, like, he was great.
And the train...
Although, I watched an interview with him on Good Mythical Morning.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of like, holy fuck, like, all that chest hair.
Yeah.
It's like he had a wig taped to his chest.
Yeah, pretty much. The train tracks scene with the Farrah Fawcett, where Steve tells Dustin about the Farrah Fawcett product that he uses to get his hair the way it is.
Grooming habits, yeah.
I love it. I loved it so much.
It was fantastic. Like, Steve stepping into, like, that big brother role for a lot of the kids.
Yep.
I thought was really cool. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Did you also get a real Goonies Josh Brolin vibe from the very ending when he takes the kids down to the tunnels?
No.
I was starting to feel that way, because, like, they left Steve alone with the kids, and I made a joke about, oh man, he's turning into Josh Brolin in the Goonies, where he's, like, the older kid who's just, like, regretfully following along on the adventure. And then he pulls out, like, when they get down to the tunnels, he's wearing a red bandana, and I'm like, shit, I think they did this on purpose.
They very well might have.
I mean, Goonies is clearly an influence on the show to begin with, but I don't know. I picked out a lot of, like, there's so many references. It's non-stop.
Yeah, but Steve really became a favorite of mine this season.
Yep. I have to agree, man. Okay, let's take a second and what problems did you have with this season? Get that out of the way.
I didn't really have many problems at all.
Yeah.
The season started off with the gang type crowd. I kind of was hoping that it would feature more of them.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. As a group.
One thing I will say that did kind of bug me.
Yep.
Is that scene where what's her face? The other, like, her sister.
Oh, 8, Collie.
Yeah.
Yes.
When she was kind of, like, pushing 11, and 11 was pulling the dump truck thing.
Yep.
In the scrapyard. That was just face and eyes, X-Men First Class, when Charles is, like, pushing Magneto.
Yeah.
To, like, twist the big dish.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is, like, identical.
But here's the thing.
And that did kind of bug me.
Here's where I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here. I think they purposely made that as X-Men as possible, because if you remember, and I'm going deep here, the very first episode of season 1, the kids are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and Dustin and Will have a little bike race right before Will gets lost. And Dustin says, I'll race you for any comic. And Will says, I'll take your... I can't remember what it is. It's like X-Men 180 something or another, right?
Yeah.
So they mention X-Men there. If you look up what issue that is one of the very first issues of the Dark Phoenix saga.
Okay.
And I think they purposely put that in there as an egg because they're taking Eleven down a Dark Phoenix route. At the end of the first season, when she throws the Demogorgon against a chalkboard, that is like panel for panel a piece of art from the same storyline in the X-Men comics. And I mean, I think with that episode in particular, episode 7, The Lost Sister, when she's basically encouraged to look deeper into her powers, and then with the final scene when she's levitating, I think the X-Men references are absolutely on purpose.
Nice.
I went deep, man.
Well, you know what? Stranger Things is probably going to do a better Dark Phoenix than any X-Men movie.
Oh, yeah. I'll take Millie Bobby Brown over Sophie Turner any fucking day.
Hell yeah.
Yep. She's
definitely over Famke Jensen.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So, my only... Here are all my flaws with the season. I don't have very many at all. The first time watching the show, I didn't really like the 7th episode that much.
Okay.
Where they took Eleven out into the city and stuck her with that gang, and it felt like it kind of killed the momentum of the season. I didn't see how it really fit. But after looking into the X-Men references and realizing that it's basically Luke being trained by Yoda, I don't know, it kind of grew on me a little more, not to mention the obvious references to, like, the Warriors and the Lost Boys and shit like that. Yeah. So it grew on me.
Her outfit afterwards was very, very Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah. 100%. You get to see the fucking punk 11 in this season. That's great.
Yeah.
And, so that one, like, my second time through, I enjoyed it a lot more. Still not my favorite episode of the season, but that's because I really like the setting of Hawkins, and I like having a cast of characters that I love, whereas Kali and the rest of the gang didn't really grow on me as much, but not a big deal.
Okay.
One tiny fucking thing...
You weren't really there long enough to really develop any sort of attachment to them.
No, really, not at all. One tiny thing that kind of bothered me is throughout the whole season, they mention time and time again this tripwire that Hopper has outside the cabin, and they show it, and then in the final episode, when Jonathan and Joyce and Nancy have to go to this cabin they've never been to, it's not mentioned. It just seems like a weird...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's probably just something that was missed, or maybe there's a reason. I don't care. Not a big deal. It's like half a second of irritation.
Yeah.
And my third thing, I realized this year that Jonathan Byers is kind of a shit character.
In what way?
I mean, look at every character in the show. You look at their total character arc, you look at the growth and the change that they've gone through from the first episode to the most recent. Jonathan Byers is still exactly the same. He has not, like, he's had a lot of shit happen to him, but he hasn't changed in any way.
No.
But that being said, he helps other characters further the plot, I guess. I don't like. He doesn't bother me when he's on screen. It's just that he doesn't really do much for me. Which, in a show full of fucking characters that I love, it's, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, I need a sip of water there. I'm still kind of getting over the head cold, so my voice might not sound the best.
There were a few other, like, little small things that I thought were cool that might not appeal to everyone. Well, one thing in particular.
Yep.
And it actually had to do with that gang of misfits and punks.
Oh, yeah?
The big guy, Sunshine,
Yep.
is played by professional bodybuilder Kai Green.
Okay.
Literally 2 days before this season premiered on Netflix, I was watching a documentary called Generation Iron 2 on Netflix. And it's all about professional bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And one of the people it focuses on is Kai.
Okay.
And it showed how, like, he was runner-up a couple times in a row for, like Arnold Classic, like, the biggest bodybuilding competitions in the world. He was, like, number 2 a couple years in a row, but he was always, like, one of the most charismatic performers on stage. Like, when they had to do any kind of, like, talent thing, like, Kai was always a fan favorite, but he was kind of, like, starting to step away from professional bodybuilding to pursue other interests.
Okay, yep.
And it was showing him, like, apparently he's always been a bit of an artist, and in the documentary, he was starting to work on his own graphic novel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and towards the end of the documentary, it started showing him taking acting and improv classes.
Huh.
And I was like, that's really cool. I didn't know much about the guy before watching the documentary, but his personality really grew on me.
Yep.
While I was watching it, and I was like, this guy's really cool. Like, it was after he started working on his graphic novel, it showed him at, like, Comic-Con type events, and, like, taking pictures with fans and signing things and stuff like that. And, like, he seems like a really, like, interesting guy. And then 2 days later, I start watching Stranger Things, and here is this guy in the first episode.
Nice. Yeah, he was.
I thought that was really cool.
That would have been, like, right off the top too.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really cool to see, like, in this documentary, this bodybuilder who showed that, you know, these guys are more than just meatheads. Like, he's a pretty well-spoken, like, down-to-earth guy who has other interests besides just lifting weights and eating all kinds of protein.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he has other talents, other interests, and seems to be a nice guy to his fans. And then I see him in this kick-ass show, and I'm like, fuck yeah, good for him.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But another thing that I really liked...
Yep.
Bob the Brain.
Oh, Bob fucking Newby, man. Bob Newby, superhero.
Man.
Played by Sean fucking Astin. And did you notice the line about the treasure map? Obvious Goonies reference there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this? A treasure map? Yeah. No, it's good, man.
Fucking Samwise.
Samwise, yeah. Sean Astin, like, when in the first episode when I saw this Bob Newby, I was like, okay, I'm not sure how he really fits here. And then he grew on you, and by the time he gets introduced to the stuff that's going on, Bob is, like, my favorite person on screen, right?
Yeah, like, probably my least favorite part of the whole season is, spoiler alert, when Bob dies.
The tragic deaths in this season of both Bob Newby and Muse the cat.
Yep.
No, man.
I mourned a little harder for Bob than the cat.
Just a little, yeah.
I really enjoyed Bob.
He got a brutal death.
Yeah, when he died, I was like, no! But it did add to the show quite a bit. 2
fun facts. The Duffer Brothers, who create the show and they run it, twice now they've had characters live longer than expected just because of how much they like the actors and the way they're portraying them. The first
Nice.
the first one, Steve Harrington was supposed to die in season 1.
Yes, I heard that.
They were gonna kill him, and then they liked Joe Keery so much, they were like, you know what? We can turn him into a good guy. And
And I'm so glad they did.
yeah. And Bob Newby was supposed to die very early in the season. Like the 4th episode, I'm gonna guess, where is it the 4th one? I can't remember if it's I think it's the 3rd one. Where Will is getting a ride to school from Bob, and Bob gives him the without knowing what Will's actually dealing with, gives him the terrible advice to stand up against the the creature from the Upside Down. Apparently, Bob was supposed to die there. Will was supposed to kill him originally in the script.
Wow.
Yeah, that was supposed to be like obviously not Will, because Will, as you find out in this season, is being controlled by a creature they referred to as the Mind Flayer. But yeah, the Mind Flayer was supposed to kill Bob through Will somehow.
Yeah.
But they liked what Sean Astin was doing so much that they let him live till, was it the second last episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what a fucking brutal death. Like,
yeah.
absolutely fucking ripped apart, man. Right in front of Joyce.
Yeah. But, like, when he started venturing off by himself, being like, no, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to, like, save you guys. I kind of knew then that Bob was done.
Yeah. I thought so, too. Like, I saw it coming, but I still held out a little bit of hope, you know?
Yeah. I kind of thought he might have got fucked over by the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of thinking, like, that doctor, maybe he's shady, and maybe he'll, like...
Well, I mean, it's fucking...
Maybe he'll direct Bob over the walkie-talkie right into a trap.
It's Paul Reiser from Aliens, so, I mean, he's not exactly the most trustworthy character, you know?
Yeah.
Paul Reiser did a great job as Dr. Owens as well.
Yeah.
We should quickly mention all these new characters, because this season introduced a lot of new characters, which
it did.
It was a little weird at first, like just off the very top, seeing new characters being introduced, but they grew on you so fast.
Yeah.
Mad Max, of course, played by Sadie Sink, is the new girl in town, love interest of both Lucas and Dustin. Doesn't work out so well for Dustin.
Yeah.
And which they foretold in the very first episode, again, when they're playing, is it Dragon's Lair? Is that what it's called? I don't know the game that well. That first one they're playing, Dustin's, like, they open with the arcade. Dustin is playing this game, trying to save the princess, and he gets frustrated and loses. And Lucas brags to him about, for now, the princess is still mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do that. They
pick up on that.
They throw in a lot of shit. Like, I mean, the main story surrounding Max and the boys is around the high score on the game Dig Dug, and I mean, the second half of the season is all about these vines that are being grown from the Upside Down underneath the town of Hawkins, right?
Yep.
They throw in these fucking signs all over the place. It's brilliant.
It's smart writing.
It really is. Dacre Montgomery as Billy Hargrove. How much did you fucking hate this guy?
This guy was perfect as, like, the douchebag that you were just like, oh my god, like, I want badness to happen to this guy.
Oh, I know. But at the same time, he was charming. That scene with Mike and Nancy's mom in the last episode, that was so fucking good. And this guy was in the new Power Rangers they did.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the Red Ranger in the new Power Rangers this year. And I saw the movie, and it was okay, but I didn't know he could act like that.
See, I slept on the new Power Rangers movie because I just heard so many shitty reviews about it.
It's honestly not bad. Like, it's nothing mind-blowing. If you're gonna watch, one of the new superhero, like Marvel or DC movies, I'd watch that instead. But, I mean, if you're looking for something to watch, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bob Newby, Billy, Mad Max, Dr. Owens. What do you think of Murray Bauman, the, I guess, private investigator type...
conspiracy theory guy?
Yeah. I really liked him. Like,
I found him kind of creepy, honestly.
A little bit, but...
I didn't like him. Like, the way he had two high school kids stay at his place, and he's offering them alcohol, and he's kind of like sitting there, like, looking at them kind of like, you guys are gonna bang in my house?
Yeah. It like...
That just... Ugh.
I know, but...
You feel gross.
But the performance, the guy did a good job. I found...
the guy did a good job of playing that character. I just didn't like the character.
Like, I liked him in a... Like... Not in a way of, like, I would get along with you, but in a way of, like, you're entertaining on screen.
Yeah.
I found he looked like he walked straight out of Jaws. Or, like, one of those 70s Spielberg movies, like Close Encounters. He looked like he fit right in there,
Nice.
And it's funny because the actor doesn't change his look for that role at all. That's just straight up what he looks like. And the last one, the very, very minor character I gotta throw in here, Priya Ferguson as Lucas's little sister Erica.
She was funny.
She was funny as shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What was it she said to Dustin? How about code shut the hell up? Or something. She's just this saucy little, like the perfect little sister, right? Oh man. She was good. Like, there's a lot of other characters that they threw in there. Like, Dustin's mom was entertaining. You got to see more of Dustin and Lucas's families.
Yep.
Mike's parents got a bit more. And Mike's dad fucking kills me whenever he's on screen. Like, he's Ted Wheeler. He's the perfect example of a dad who's just like, oh, I don't know. Go ask your mother, I got a kick out of him.
Yeah, for sure.
What else is there to say about this? Holy shit! The pairings. They switched up all the pairings in this season, and they were all great. Like, I mean, we already talked about Steve and Dustin, but Hopper and Eleven, right?
Oh my god, that was heart-wrenching, because, like, he's trying his best, but he's kind of, like, stuck between the rock and the hard place, and she doesn't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, she's so disconnected from, like, how the world works anyway.
And he's got some underlying issues with what happened with his daughter as well, right? So he kind of he's got a temper that he tries to keep in check, but doesn't always work.
Yeah. But you could tell, like, even when he's getting mad and upset, it's out of love.
Yeah.
And he's trying his best, but, like, if you were, like, a guy and you lost your daughter and you're just kind of like this grizzled small-town sheriff, and then suddenly you're taking care of this teenager who has no idea how the rest of the world works, doesn't understand why she can't go do this, she doesn't understand why she can't go see her friends.
Yep.
So you're trying to discipline this child, but this child has psychic powers?
Yeah. It's tricky, man.
Like, that is, like, people say, like, parenthood can be hard to navigate. Fucking hell, man. Like, Hopper in those scenes?
Yeah.
Like, I felt that was powerful as shit.
not just like I mean the argument scenes are powerful enough on their own, but
yeah,
the balance between that and the times where they are on the same page,
yeah,
man. And I really there was this one little scene in there that I loved because it just showed how much of a dad he really is. They're in an argument and she goes into her room and she won't come out, and he's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to eat all this Halloween candy by myself, all alone.
I'll just get fat alone.
That's probably not too good for my health, so I guess I'll just die of a heart attack. Like that whole guilt trip sort of thing is, oh man.
One of my favorite Hopper scenes in the whole season,
yep,
was when 11 comes back.
I was just gonna say that.
And Mike gets mad at Hopper.
And it's great too because Finn Wolfhard's performance in this season is very understated. I mean, Mike is just a sad, mopey kid who sits in the background and sulks for the whole season. So when he when he lets loose,
pining for 11.
Oh my god! When he fucking lets loose, and he's just screaming at Hopper, and like Hopper knows, like he can't argue with him. He knows that the kid's hurting, and it is what it is. There's nothing that either one of them can really change about it. Man, that was a fucking powerful scene.
It was like, and he's just like taking those hits in the stomach from Mike, and then he just like embraces him.
Yep.
I was like, man.
Fuck. Well,
I gotta say, like, as good as this show is, and as good as all these characters are, Hopper is by far my favorite.
Man, it's hard not to pick him. David Harbour gives a hell of a fucking performance in this show. I can't wait. I cannot
wait to see what he does with Hellboy.
I know. So we talked about the powerful scenes and the sad stuff and the arguments, but can't we just talk about that fucking Ghostbusters scene, man? Like, it was fucking perfect. It was so fucking
great.
From the very opening.
The Bankman argument?
Yes, but like not just that. The whole from the very beginning of them getting dressed up at home and the different like how Mike is embarrassed and Lucas is proud as shit and his little sister is teasing him, and then they pull on their bikes singing the theme song. Which is perfect because, I mean, in the timeline, it's set in 84, so it would have came out that summer. And then, but like, the Venkman argument is just something that, every group of kids who have been through that have definitely had. The Venkman versus, oh, Jesus Christ, Ernie Hudson,
Winston Zedmore.
Winston, Jesus, it was slipping away from me there. Yeah. Oh.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Ghostbusters, I mean, Winston's the last one to come in and everything like that. He's not a scientist. Blah blah. Like, taking race out of it completely. He was the last one to come in. He wasn't a scientist. He didn't contribute as much in the original as the other three.
Yep.
Egon is a straight up nerd.
Yep.
Like, he's supposed to be the nerd. And Ray is the lovable, just kind of, like, he's the oaf as far as a scientist can be an oaf.
Yeah, for sure.
But Bill Murray's Peter Venkman, he's the one who gets the girl. He's the one who's making the most jokes.
Yep.
Like, he's the bad boy of the group.
Oh, for sure.
And, like, even when I was a kid playing Ghostbusters, like, he was the one people wanted to be.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Ghostbuster?
Louis Tully.
Jesus. I don't know. Are you more of a Venkman guy?
I don't know if I have a favorite, because I like them all.
Yeah.
The whole, like, dickless joke and stuff like that with Venkman is always, like, classic.
Yeah. Venkman's the one you want to go to, but I think if I was picking one, I'd probably go Ray.
Yeah.
Just because
Egon is kind of the Sheldon Cooper of the group.
Yeah. But Egon's fun. He's got some good stuff in there, you know.
Yeah. But, like, there's points where Janine is kind of, like, hitting on Egon, and he's just, like, so unreceptive to it, because he's just like, my work.
Yeah.
And Harold Ramis played that perfectly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. That was a bit of a tangent, but it related.
Anyway. One thing I loved... one second now. Yeah, one thing I really liked about that scene. At the very end of the scene, we get... it comes into a scene that was in basically every trailer. And we saw in all the trailers, Dustin... And all of them were in their Ghostbusters uniform, and Dustin turns and he looks out back behind the camera at something horrifying. And based on the trailers, you think he's looking at some monster in the distance. But I love that the reveal was that Dustin's horrified look is, oh shit, no one else is wearing a costume.
Yeah.
It was fucking perfect.
That was great.
Oh my god. Man.
The nerdy kids who are already struggling with, you know, the social aspects of school are the only ones who wore costumes.
Yes.
Because wasn't it their first year of middle school or something?
Yeah.
Aren't they in a different school this year?
I think so. Maybe no. I'm not positive, honestly. I'm not sure if it's their first year of middle school or if they're just getting at that age where the kids are starting to date and stuff like that. But,
and shy away from things that they deem childish.
Yeah. It was an important year wherever it is.
Yeah.
And not a good start.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'm not sure if I got much else to say here. I do believe, honestly, of all the TV and movie that I've watched this year, this is easily my favorite. There's no competition. I mean, there are some movies that came out this year that I fucking love, and they don't come close to this. For me.
And, yeah.
Oh, man.
Unless The Punisher, which comes out a week from today, the time we're recording it.
Yep.
Punisher has, to be amazing to top Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Which I hope it is, just because I fucking love The Punisher, love John Bernthal. Yeah.
It looks fucking great. And our next episode after this one will be, hopefully, a Punisher Justice League review.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Punisher Justice League Pokemon review.
Pokemon?
Yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon come out
shit.
next week as well.
That's right, too.
So that's going to be a big day for my nerdy ass.
Yeah.
I already have the day booked off work.
Nice.
As soon as I can, I will be getting a ticket for Justice League.
Nice.
And basically it's going to be like, I'm off the night before too, so I'm going to get up early, spend all day watching Punisher, and then go to Justice League, come home, watch probably the rest of the Punisher.
Yep.
And I'm probably not going to start playing Pokemon until Saturday night.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Because, I mean, if I'm playing Pokemon, I'm not really going to be paying attention to the Punisher.
We'll talk more about that next week.
Yes, we shall.
But we're talking Punisher and Justice League. Let's move on to another superhero. You got to see Thor Ragnarok.
I did, and I may actually be going a second time tonight.
I've heard some good things, man.
I very, very much enjoyed it, which was good because I liked Thor in the Avengers movies.
Yep. But
the Thor standalone films were among the weakest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in my opinion.
I 100% agree with that one.
The MCU movie I have watched the least out of all of them is Thor 2.
Even less so than Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, to be fair, I've watched Thor: The Dark World twice and Iron Man 2 once, so it's not a big gaping difference there.
Yeah. No, I've only seen Thor 2 3 times.
Fair enough.
Which, for me, is not a lot, considering there are movies I've gone to in theaters that many times.
Yeah. Something I've noticed,
yeah.
I want to get your opinion before you even get into Thor Ragnarok here. I think 2017 might be the best year of superhero movies ever.
Yeah.
Like,
we haven't had a weak one this year.
Not at all. And not only that, but like we've had years where everything was strong. I mean, Dark Knight and Iron Man and Hulk came out the same year. Dark Knight Rises, Amazing Spider-Man, and Avengers came out the same year. But those years were the only movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this year we've already got Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Homecoming, and now Thor Ragnarok. And I mean, without
even hearing positive things about Justice League coming up too.
Yeah. We got another Guardians movie. We got I think easily agreed here, the best Wolverine and Spider-Man movies ever made.
Yep, 100%.
Finally got a Wonder Woman movie, and I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably the best Thor movie.
The best Thor movie, hands down.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me all about it.
Okay. I'm not going to get into the plot of the movie or anything like that too much, but the biggest complaint I saw some people say was, like, they wanted a Planet Hulk movie, and this movie was, like, basically, they were expecting the movies that had Planet Hulk, and, like, they didn't like the ending because they felt like it should have been this other character doing this thing, and it's because they expected it to be too literal to the comics.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They expected it to be too literal to the source material.
Yeah.
But how far did Civil War stray from the source material?
Oh shit! Like not even.
And that was still a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
You can't go in there with the expectations for it to be like a carbon copy of the comic book, because that's not always feasible. Like, if you want all the situations and circumstances from the comic, just read the fucking comic.
Yeah.
It's an adaptation. It's inspired by the comics. It is not a literal retelling of it.
No.
But that was the biggest complaint I saw some people having about this movie. Was they were like, oh, fucking, I wanted Planet Hulk, and this was a weak-ass attempt at it. And it's like...
Why'd you go into a Thor movie expecting Planet Hulk?
Because that's kind of where they end up.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying there wasn't Planet Hulk influence, but
Yeah.
Thor is the fucking title. Don't expect a fucking page-for-page adaptation.
Yeah. I did go into this movie hoping to see a particular character. Who...
Would that character be named Beta Ray Bill?
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of holding out hope there too. I heard he almost made the cut though.
Almost. There was a nod to him.
Yep.
On the Grandmaster's Tower, there were busts of the former and current champions, and the top one being a bust of Hulk.
Yep.
But below it is a bust that very, very, very much looks like Beta Ray Bill.
Nice.
I don't know if it's been confirmed or not whether or not that was him, but that's the only reference to Beta Ray Bill that I picked up on in my first viewing.
Apparently, he was in the original plan for the movie, but they didn't have room to put a lot of them in there, so they decided to cut it because they thought the character was deserving of more. Not to say that they won't do it in the future, though.
Okay.
So, that looks fucking good to me. I mean, if they want to give Beta Ray Bill a full villain arc or side hero arc, whatever they're gonna do there,
Hell yeah.
that'd be fucking cool.
It would be fucking cool. I did have a minor issue with Scourge.
Yeah?
The Executioner.
With Carl Urban, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he looked the part perfectly.
Okay.
I don't know if they could have cast anyone better just physically to play that part. He looked so good. But my biggest issue, which is more just me kind of being a little nitpicky, if anything, with Scourge was, well, he kind of flops from, the bad side to the good side at the end of the movie.
Okay.
I'm kind of I would have rathered him just be a bad guy. But he gets an axe partway through the movie. It's not that big or impressive of an axe.
Okay.
A guy like the Executioner, even if the axe isn't going to be that big, you kind of want it to be like this, intimidating, ooh, that's a bad fucking tool.
Yeah.
That, he can fuck some shit up with that axe. Whether it's big or just menacing looking, it wasn't that big or impressive looking, and he doesn't really use it.
Oh.
He swings it once, I think, in the movie, and it doesn't really show what happens when he swings it. It just shows him pretty much, raise it up and start to swing it down, and then the scene cuts. And then when he does get involved in the combat later in the movie, he busts out a couple of AR-15s. He drops his axe and pulls out 2 assault rifles.
Really? I didn't expect to see assault rifles in this movie.
Yeah, me either. I mean, it was funny when it first introduced him and he's talking about the assault rifles and he's given them names, and it was kind of amusing.
Yeah.
But to see the Executioner, and I know he probably uses guns at points in the comics and blah, 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 but when I saw the Executioner was in this movie, I was hoping to see some badass shit involving him causing some destruction with an axe. Maybe a little bit of him fighting Thor, and Thor doesn't have his hammer, but the executioner has his axe type thing. I don't fucking know. I was just hoping for a bit more than, you know, him turning out to be Dredd with a different skin.
Yeah, I hear you.
But, like I said, like, if that's my biggest complaint about the character, it's just me being a little nitpicky. It's nothing that ruins it.
No, for sure.
Yeah. But I found that, like, since Deadpool, like, I don't know if they're trying to throw more humor into this stuff, like, to try and recapture the success of Deadpool, but there was a lot more jokes in this movie than in previous films.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like, a lot more. Some of them were kind of like, okay, like, yeah, that's amusing, but let's get back to the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
But there were certain scenes that were straight up hilarious.
I'm not sure if that's, like, it's hard to say whether that's on purpose or not. Because since Deadpool came out, like, I can't really count the movies that were pretty much done when Deadpool came out. But
yeah,
this year, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, obviously that was going to be funny. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, the first one was funny.
Yeah. Marvel finally got to do a Spider-Man. Obviously they're going to put humor in there.
Yeah, because Spider-Man's always been a funny character anyway.
Yeah. So basically it comes up to whether or not they had this plan for Thor beforehand or not. I mean, it might have been a plan because obviously they wanted to make something a little more likable than the first two Thor movies.
Yeah.
So, I have no idea. It's hard to say. But
like, there were moments where it had, like, a much, much lighter tone. Like, it was funny, it was colorful, it was, like... It straight up had me laughing in the seat. Like, I was laughing out loud.
Nice.
And then there were other points in this movie that were dark and grim and... Yeah. No, I very, very much enjoyed this movie.
Awesome. So, you
like I said, it like what I posted on Facebook, I thought Ragnarok made the first two Thor films look like B movies.
Yeah, I can see that.
Finally, a Thor movie that can stand with the rest of the MCU.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Thor deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Hemsworth is a fucking fantastic Thor, but the movies just aren't that great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, until now.
Yeah.
Where would you
mean, Doctor Strange wasn't in it very much, but the amount of time he was in it was perfect.
Awesome.
A lot of the stuff with Bruce Banner was cool. Hulk being able to talk now, because he's not just a primal savage.
Oh, really?
Was cool.
That's cool.
Korg.
Oh,
I can see Korg being a fan favorite.
I heard that. He's played by the director.
Yeah, he is.
Taika Waititi. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but that guy's funny as shit.
Yeah. He also did the Shadows movie with Jermaine.
Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. And he directed
that one.
He directed and starred in that one as well. He's a very funny guy.
He is. I enjoyed him in interviews and everything, yeah. No, the guy was great. After I watched the movie Thursday night, I spent the majority of the weekend, like, when I was cooking supper with my girlfriend, trying to talk in a Korg voice. I'm not going to try and do it now, but she kept looking at me and she's like, why are you so good at that voice? Like, we literally just saw the movie. You haven't had time to practice this. Why is your Korg impression so good? I was like, I don't know. But Korg was fantastic.
Nice.
Let's see, what else was there? Stuff with Loki was good.
Yeah.
Stuff with Odin was good.
Yep.
Hela was hella scary. Like, Valkyrie was good.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about Valkyrie. Tessa Thompson, I think her name is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who I also, like, in interviews, I thought she was really funny and charming in interviews too.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, I think I'd like to see her in more stuff coming up.
Cool.
She made a good impression on me.
Awesome.
Very good impression. One Easter egg that I was reading that I thought was kind of cool was some of the ships in this movie, like fucking spaceships, were named after models of cars from a defunct car company that was based in Australia, I believe.
Huh. That's a fucking deep cut.
The colors of these two ships were tribal colors paying homage to Maori, like a certain Maori tribe, and the Aboriginal people of Australia, I believe.
Wow.
Because where the director is from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he made the color schemes of these two aircrafts that were named after an old Australian car company. Yeah, he made the color scheme a tribute to the indigenous peoples of that area.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really fucking cool.
Well, anything else to say about Thor Ragnarok?
After one viewing, not right now. Like, I haven't seen it since opening night. So it's been over a week since I've seen it, and I was out of town when I seen it, and there was a lot going on, so I didn't get a chance to really, like, make solid notes when I got home.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, I might pick up on some more stuff after my second viewing, which may or may not be in 4 hours' time.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what else did you see? I believe a couple of horror movies, right?
I was going to see a few other... I was going to go see 3 other movies. Yep. But I only ended up going to see 2.
Okay.
I was going to go see Jigsaw, Happy Death Day, and Snowman.
Yep.
I did not go see The Snowman.
I didn't hear the best things about that movie.
Neither did I. And if I ended up going, it would have been by myself in the middle of the day while Emily was in class.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I haven't been hearing great things, and I'd be going by myself, so it wouldn't even be like, you know, I get to hang out with someone and have that, like, friendship. So, like, spending, like, theater money on a movie that I haven't heard good things about by myself in the middle of the day just didn't seem worth it.
No. I hear you.
I'll still watch it when it comes out.
Oh, for sure.
Because the trailers look good, but the reviews I heard weren't great.
No, and I was a little surprised by that because it looks really fucking cool. But
yeah,
who knows?
So instead, I just hung out at home and just battled people on Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah, I noticed you've been busy.
Yeah, and that's just me uploading ones that I think are the more close and exciting ones that I win. I've had some pretty good ones where I've lost too, but who wants to post videos of them losing?
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I did see Happy Death Day and Jigsaw.
Okay.
Both of them I went to with my friend Sarah.
Yep.
Happy Death Day was more of a comedy than a horror movie.
I can see that.
It was like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
There were a few jump scares in it, but yeah. We went to this movie at like 20 after 1
Yeah.
in the afternoon, and we were literally the only 2 people there.
Oh.
Which was cool because, like, we looked around, made sure that there was no one else in the theater. We got, like, super comfy, like, put our feet up, and we were able to, like, actually discuss our theories on who we thought was going to be the killer without disturbing any other moviegoers.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
It was. It was probably like the 5th time I've ever had that experience.
Nice.
But it started out with me being like, oh, like I couldn't stand protagonist at the end, or at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then she really fucking grows on you.
Yeah?
Like, she starts off and it's just like, she just seems like a mean person.
Okay.
She seems really selfish, and it's just like, I don't like you. Like, I can't connect with you. But then, like, excuse me, as the movie goes on, she gets more and more likable. Like, to the point where she becomes very fucking likable and funny and, like, complete 180. Like, straight up, like, to the point where I was kind of like, if I was in her shoes, yeah, I'd probably be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I did find the ending of that movie was a little weak.
Okay.
And the motive for the killer was a little shitty, and, like, the ending was kind of anticlimactic.
Okay.
But it was a fun movie.
I shouldn't be surprised that it's more comedy, because it is created by the same guy who did Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I just thought he would. I thought maybe it was a little more horror than his first movie, or I'm not sure if that's his first movie, but than his last movie. You know.
I mean, it's not as funny as Scary Movie, but it's not as intense as Scream.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I would lodge that. Somewhere in the middle ground, in that gray area between the slasher film and the slasher spoof.
It's not a bad place to be. I mean...
Yeah. And I mean, for what it is, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But if you're looking for scares, you might want to go elsewhere. If you're looking for a straight-up comedy, you know, there's plenty of other choices. But if you're looking for something that's just kind of fun and pokes a little bit of fun at the genre, like, this movie's fun. Like, just sit back, grab some snacks, have a couple of friends there, and just, you know, have a laugh at this movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Okay, so, on the other hand, how was the latest entry into the Saw franchise?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I did. A few of the traps were kind of like, that seems like it might be a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
But it did have me scratching my head at the end.
Yeah.
Right up until, like, you know how they always have this kind of like twist, the reveal at the end?
Yeah. Did they use early 2000s sounding hard rock over the montage?
I can't remember.
Oh.
But most likely it is a Saw film.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was scratching my head right up until the reveal, and then, like, when the reveal happens and the person explains how they did it all and what their motive was, I was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. I get that.
Okay.
That's cool. But, yeah, like, leading up to it, I was scratching my head like, who is it? Who done it? How is it? And there was one part where I was like, yawned. Where I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, it all made sense to me in the end. but I was kind of confused for a little bit, which I think was intentional. Well, I know it was intentional.
Awesome.
But, yeah.
Well, I'm always up for another Saw movie.
Yeah, I know you don't give a shit about spoilers.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to save this one for you because I think you'll enjoy it.
That's fair. I mean, it sounds like there's a bit of a challenge to that one, so I'll leave that one as is, I guess.
But in my opinion, it was on par with the rest of the Saw film.
Okay.
Yeah. There were a couple of traps where I was like, but there were other ones where it was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, I like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a good mix of fun traps and traps.
Fair enough. So I guess that's all the reviews for today. We're a little over an hour in.
Yep.
I kind of figured that. So we could run through a bit of geek news. There's been some pretty big shit going on with geek news as of late.
Yeah.
So, first off, something that kind of blew up on the internet when it was released, the official casting for Disney's Lion King.
Yeah.
Man, this movie looks fucking good.
Sweet Jesus, does it ever.
Directed by Jon Favreau, of course, behind the recent Jungle Book and Iron Man. I mean, he's got some fucking pull over at Disney.
Yep.
And I think he's going to do a damn good job with this. I mean, honestly, with this cast, it'd be kind of hard to fuck it up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was excited already. You got Donald Glover as Simba. James Earl Jones is back for Mufasa. John Oliver was announced as Zazu a while back. Seth Rogen as Pumbaa is fucking perfect. And
Beyonce as Nala?
Yeah, see, that was the thing. They didn't announce that till just the other day when they announced Beyonce as Nala. They announced Chiwetel Ejiofor, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Mordo from Doctor Strange, and the star of 12 Years a Slave is fucking Scar.
Oh, he's gonna nail that.
Yeah. Alfred Woodard, Mariah from Luke Cage is Sarabi.
Yep.
But one thing and there's a lot more. There's more Marvel here. Fucking John Connie, who plays King Chaka, is Rafiki.
Yep.
But
yeah.
The cool thing here that no one seems to be talking about is the fucking hyenas are played by some girl named Florence Kasumba, who I don't know. But Keegan-Michael Key and Eric Andre are hyenas.
Yep.
That's gonna be fucking amazing.
And they're taking the place of Cheech Marin and was it Bobcat Goldthwait?
Sounds right to me. I can picture that.
I know Cheech was one of them.
And Whoopi Goldberg was Shenzi.
Yes. I just can't remember who played Ed.
It sounds like that. That sounds right to me. Bobcat. I mean, he's got a pretty distinct voice.
I'm Googling it now.
Yeah. But they're doing this in the style of The Jungle Book. And The Jungle Book was really fucking good.
Yes.
And they got the director from The Jungle Book. The only thing I wish they had done was I wished Caleb MacLachlan, Lucas from Stranger Things, I wish he was young Simba, but you can't win them all. And I'm sure the kid they casted is going to do a great job. I mostly wish that because Caleb MacLachlan actually has done the Lion King musical. Like that was his big thing for years. And the kid can fucking sing too. But I won't get back into the Stranger Things fucking rabbit hole. You find it there? You find Ed?
I did find Ed, and I was wrong, it wasn't Bobcat. I thought it was another famous comedian. It's Jim Cummings.
Oh, Jim Cummings, of course. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jim Cummings is probably one of the greatest voice actors of all time.
Yeah, really though.
He's so fucking prolific. I mean, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger to start. Not to mention he just happens to show up in just about every Disney movie, and he doesn't change his voice that much. Like he's
if you look at his filmography on IMDb, he's credited for 513 voice credits.
Oh yeah.
Like that's separate shows, movies, games.
And if you want to know exactly the voice I'm talking about, in Aladdin, at the very beginning, there's that one guard who is yelling at him, and that voice shows up in bit parts everywhere.
Yeah.
And like he has some distinct voices, but that voice he's used like 100 times. And I'll just be watching.
Captain of the Guard, Razul, is it?
Yeah. I'll be watching a cartoon and I'll hear that voice, and I'm like, oh, he's back. There he is again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, and I'm looking forward to this movie. But in other casting news, Shazam has been casted.
Yes. I was going to ask you how you felt about the casting for Shazam.
I don't know, because I'm not that familiar with Zachary. Is it Levy?
Yeah.
I have never seen Chuck. I've seen him in the Thor movies, I guess, but I mean, they're not great movies, and I don't really. It's hard to base it on that.
You saw him in what movies?
He's Fandral in the Thor movies.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the. What's the. Warriors 3, is it?
Huh.
Yeah, that's that guy.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in.
I've never seen a single episode of Chuck.
No, me either.
So all I know this dude from is the fucking Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't know he was in that.
I'm almost positive.
So yeah, that guy is Shazam. Asher Angel is Billy Batson. I've never heard of the kid, but he looks the part. The director is David F. Sandberg, best known for Lights Out and Annabelle Creation,
which were both very good movies.
I haven't seen either of them yet. I gotta get around to that. But
I enjoyed them both, but yeah, horror to superhero, I'm not sure.
I know. But the interesting choice here is going to... Well, I mean, the casting and the director choice are already interesting. And it's interesting that DC is focusing so much on Shazam as one of their next movies. But they're not going to have Black Adam in this. They're going to have... there is an actor in talks to play the villain already.
Okay.
Mark Strong. Are you familiar with him?
Mark Strong, yes.
Yeah, he
was in Kingsman, wasn't he?
Yes, he is Merlin. Is that the character's name? Merlin?
Yes.
Merlin in Kingsman. He shows up all over the place. Sherlock Holmes.
He was in
Green Lantern.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes is what I was about to say.
He was the big bad in Kick-Ass. Holy shit, I just realized he was in Kick-Ass and Kingsman. I never put that together. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I mean, Mark Strong's been around, and he's a great actor. He's in talks to play a villain, and everyone is expecting it's Dr. Sivana, who apparently is like
I'm not familiar with the character.
No, apparently he's one of Shazam's biggest villains from the comics. I don't really know Shazam comics that well.
The only Shazam villain I'm familiar with is Black Adam.
Yeah, me too. But, I mean, it looks like an interesting character. I can kind of see the resemblance with Mark Strong, so that casting might work out.
Yeah.
But what's more interesting is their choice to potentially put Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam in Suicide Squad 2.
I think that is stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I really don't know how Black Adam's gonna fit in that movie at all.
Well, okay. We've had animated movies from DC where Black Adam has held his own against Superman and Shazam at the same fucking time.
Yep.
and you're gonna put this guy in a movie with fucking Harley Quinn and the Joker and Captain Boomerang and like.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if they mean to have Black Adam face off against the Suicide Squad, because that just sounds like it sounds a little unfair.
Well, okay, if he faces off against the Suicide Squad, and they somehow manage to win, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, it's basically the equivalent of like the Hulk fighting the Goonies. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No matter what numbers they bring, like, they're gonna have to stick in some random other character to justify how they would be able to take down Black Adam.
Yeah.
If they have Black Adam on the same side as Harley Quinn and the rest of them, what's the fucking point in the rest of them even being there? Because Black Adam will just be able to do everything by himself.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, honestly. DC and all.
Guy's on par with Superman, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. DC and all the shit that they're talking about doing is kind of a mess, and I don't really know what's going on over there. But speaking of DC, I'm gonna tangent off into comic books themselves for a second here. Did you hear the news about Brian Michael Bendis leaving Marvel for DC?
Yes, I did.
And, I mean, to those who don't know, we're talking not about the movies here, but about the comic books themselves. Brian Michael Bendis, who is basically been the best writer at Marvel for fucking ever. He's signed.
Didn't he create Miles Morales?
Here's what I have listed for him here. He wrote hundreds of issues for Daredevil and Ultimate Spider-Man. He is the sole writer behind Secret War, Secret Invasion, House of M, Avengers vs. X-Men, and Age of Ultron. And he, by himself, created the characters Miles Morales and Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
That guy left Marvel for DC. And, I don't read a lot of DC comics, but if Brian Michael Bendis is writing for them, I'm going to be picking up some of those books and checking them out.
I've honestly lately been gravitating towards reading more DC than Marvel.
I have a little bit lately too, but that's mostly because I've been reading the Tom King Batman stuff, because Tom King is a fucking great writer.
Yeah. Like, right now on my bookshelf, the only Marvel I have is a few graphic novels of Iron Fist. Other than that, all the comics and graphic novels I have are Batman, The Flash, Nightwing, Red Hood. Yeah. The only Marvel I have right now on my shelf is Iron Fist.
Yeah, the new Marvel comics haven't been pulling me in as much, although I might hop on a few now, because they're doing this sort of they're doing this thing called Marvel Legacy. I'm not sure if you heard about that.
I've heard it mentioned, but I don't know what it's all about.
Basically, they're taking they're not rebooting, they're not restarting any series, but they're starting brand new story arcs for all of their existing comics, and they're switching the numbering back to the original. So, like, last week I reviewed an issue of Guardians of the Galaxy. It was originally supposed to be like issue 13 of the series, but they went back to the old Guardians comics, so now it's like issue 146 or something like that. So basically the idea is to tie it into the old comics and to get you to those high numbered comics like they used to have back in the day. But it's a good kind of jumping in point for new readers as well, because you know that with the Marvel Legacy, it's a brand new story you can hop on right now, sort of thing, right? So
yeah,
I might hop on a few of those, like Doctor Strange, Guardians. The new Guardians is fucking great. I'm gonna read more of that.
See, I just haven't seen anything that's caught my eye enough to pull me in and make me be like, ooh, I have to read that. As much as, like, The Button.
Yeah.
Or the Dark Knight Metal series that they just started. Things like that.
Yeah, DC's doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of people doing interesting stuff, have you heard about the TV series Amazon is trying to make?
Which one?
Amazon is reportedly trying to get the rights to make a Lord of the Rings live-action TV series.
That is fantastic.
It's blasphemy to a lot of people, but I mean, if they're gonna do it well, more Lord of the Rings, that's great. But
yeah,
it's fucking touchy. Like that's a big one to try and pull off. But I think Amazon are trying to compete with Netflix.
Done well, I'll fucking love the shit out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as they don't fucking Inhumans the shit out of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
that is a turd of a show.
But that's ABC. So Amazon so far, I haven't seen any Amazon show I didn't like, but I've barely watched any. The Tick was awesome, and the new series they have, Lore, is pretty fucking cool. But I don't know. I what else are they doing? They just signed a contract with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg to adapt the comic series The Boys, which I don't know. I haven't read any of it, but I mean, it's the guys behind Preacher. I don't look at Seth Rogen anymore and think the guy from Knocked Up. I think of the guy who created Preacher. So
yeah. So
that's pretty fucking cool. Maybe Amazon will get their game up to a Netflix level. They're gonna have to watch what they do with Lord of the Rings, though, man, because you could piss off some people if you fuck that up.
Yeah, that's a pretty rabid fan base.
Yeah. But the biggest news of this week, and it's a big one, we got to talk about it. I mean, the podcast is called Jedi Dropouts for a reason. Disney is going fucking nuts. Disney have announced they're working on a live-action Star Wars series, and they've signed on Rian Johnson to make a brand new trilogy set entirely out of the whole Skywalker saga.
Did I hear that was going to be not canon?
It's not that it's not canon. It is canon. It's just it's going to be. It might not have anything to do with that story at all. So you might see like brand new characters on a totally different planet that are just set in the world of Star Wars. I have no idea what they're planning on doing. It's apparently completely new and unrelated, but I believe still canon.
Awesome.
I mean, Rian Johnson, he has a pretty good track record. Looper was a really good movie. The Last Jedi looks great. So, I guess they like the guy enough to give him 3 more movies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's Star Wars. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
and just like I'm gonna watch the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah.
I just hope that it's done well.
Exactly.
Because both are such rabid fan bases that if you don't do it right, you're fucked.
Yep. But, I mean, with the new characters they've introduced so far in The Force Awakens and Rogue One, and even in shows like Star Wars Rebels, I feel like they could be onto something good here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That one remains to be seen. But Disney also are apparently trying to buy Fox altogether. Have you heard that one? Yeah, that's the word. Disney are attempting to Just straight up buy Fox and everything they own. So that would be fucking huge. That would mean all of the X-Men, all of the Fantastic Four could then be in the MCU. Deadpool.
I fucking hope so.
Deadpool and the fucking Avengers. I mean, not to mention Fox owns shit like Avatar. And that would be huge for Disney.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And, I mean, they're working on that Netflix competitor streaming service. So obviously that's the game plan here, is to try and get as much as they can. I mean, they've already bought Marvel and Star Wars. It's getting to a point where they're running out of shit to buy.
Yeah, soon they're just going to have a monopoly on it.
Yeah. But everything they make is really good, so that's fine.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm just hoping that this whole feud that they have with the LA Times doesn't hurt them too much.
Yeah, that's true too. I forgot about that. The whole banning critics from getting early screenings or some shit.
To my understanding, and I could be way off on this, is the LA Times was posting things that Disney claimed were slanderous and they had no evidence of.
Okay.
That's what Disney was claiming, to my understanding. And so Disney was like, you know, like, people criticize Disney movies all the time. That wasn't really the issue. It was them saying things about, like, Disney taking bribes from the city or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And Disney was like, you don't have evidence of that, and that's a huge accusation, and until you retract it, we don't want your people at our early screenings. That's my understanding of the situation.
I can't see it hurting them too much. I mean, I think it would take a lot for... I mean, LA Times is huge, but it's nowhere near Disney.
Yeah, like, it's not going to break Star Wars.
No.
If the LA Times doesn't review it.
Exactly. Well, that's all the news I got here. I mean, we did 4 movie TV reviews. We touched on all the recent geek news, or at least as much as we can fit in here. There's still, I mean, by the time we're finished recording this, there's probably something else. The news has been pretty nuts lately. But
one place to stay up to date on it could be our Facebook page. Maybe we'll just, share some links as they're coming out.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay up to date on that stuff, you can just follow our Facebook page.
I was doing that back in May and June a little bit. And then Comic-Con and everything else happened, and it
gets hard to keep up with sometimes.
Oh, man, it was fucking impossible. It was every half an hour I had to post something new, and then I had to go to the Instagram, and then I had to go to the Twitter, and it got hard to keep up with, so I only really post the news when it's something huge, but then again, if we're getting a chance to have an episode like this where we can talk about it, I'd rather do that anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess that's all the time we got for today. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with a Justice League and a Punisher review episode.
And I'll probably speak on Pokemon after I play it.
Yes.
I'm a little skeptical about this generation. I'm hoping that they fixed a few of the issues I had with Sun and Moon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. But it doesn't look like... I don't know. I'm skeptical, but this is going to be the last Pokemon game released for the 3DS.
Oh, really?
After this, they're making the jump to the Switch.
Oh, yeah, that's right, too.
Yeah, so I'll touch on the new content added and whether or not they fixed what my issue was with the game. And I heard a lot of other people agreeing with what my only real problem with the game was. So we'll see if that gets fixed.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
Well, thanks again for listening. As always, you can check out episodes of Jedi Dropouts, new reviews, and Tridents and Tracers over at www.jedidropouts.podbean.com or on, let me list them, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, wherever you listen to your podcast, I guess. And thanks for dropping by.
And something drop out.
As always. Later.
Later. Peace.